Hi everyone, I'm Anaya. Welcome to MHG TV. In this episode of Ascending Agents, meet Brandon Tracy. He is one of the top real estate agents in Arizona. He's a business and real estate entrepreneur, but he did not find success easily or quickly. Life challenged him in a serious way, not once, but twice. But his ability to embrace humility and authenticity is what changed everything. Okay, so let's talk about the success that you're enjoying right now, because you are looked at as a real estate entrepreneur, business entrepreneur. You're one of the top agents in the state of Arizona, expanding outside of the state. How would you describe the success you're experiencing right now?
How would I describe it? I have a lot of pride around it, but in a very good way. There's a lot of people that have done a lot of really great things on my behalf to help me get here. So when I look back on where we are now and where we started this journey, I think the thing that I'm most proud of is all of the people that this has put me in contact with, those wonderful people that work for me and their roles in building our business, because you really don't get anywhere on your own. You know, the myth of the self-made man is just that. It's a myth. There's always just a support structure behind them, whether it's a business support structure or a personal support structure. I've had my share of phenomenal people that have helped me get to this point.
This point was not an easy place for Brandon Tracy to get to. He studied kinesiology at Arizona State University when, toward the end of college, life challenged him in an unexpected and life-threatening way.
You know, towards the end of my college years, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And that whole experience, just the vulnerability that I felt in that moment of that diagnosis and how critical it was, and watching everybody around me kind of scramble and seeing how serious it was in that moment. I think I felt like a lot of young men feel at that age. I'm indestructible, right? Like this is right. Like this doesn't happen to me. Like I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm fit. I'm like the world's at my fingertips, and in an instant that went away, and that was terrifying.
Surviving such an experience became life-changing.
I still remember kind of just sitting in the hospital bed and, you know, having gone through a lot of the dramatic parts of this and coming out the other side, and kind of I had gotten to the point now where I knew I was going to be okay. And there were some dicey moments in there, of course, and you know, there was certainly reasons to doubt. But I was on the other side of that, and I knew that I was going to be okay, and my life would look a little bit differently going forward. But I was gonna live, and everything just kind of changed for me. I started to think of life a little bit differently.
That shift led him to real estate for what he now recognizes was for all the wrong reasons.
And what I really came out of that experience with the brain tumor, knowing wholeheartedly with every bit of my soul, is that I wanted my life to be bigger. I had no clue how that was going to look, and very naively, I think I chose real estate for the same reason a lot of people chose real estate, is because you think that it is easy and that it's big money and it's a big life. You get to control your own schedule and be your own boss. All the stories we tell ourselves before the real estate course corrects those stories.
Exactly.
So I think I came into real estate very much like most people do, with the wrong expectations of what it was, but I came nonetheless.
Brandon started building his real estate career, flipping homes.
You know, I wouldn't recommend this by any means, but I bought my first house on a credit card. I fixed it up on a credit card, and I profited, like, by the time I paid the credit cards off, you know, I think I took home $50,000 or $60,000 if my memory serves me right. And I did that a few times, and I started to get, you know, again, I'm still a very young man. I started to get a little arrogant about what I knew and what I understood.
He rode high until reality struck with the 2008 housing collapse. He ended up losing everything, sleeping with his dog on the floor of a friend's apartment.
When the market collapses and you collapse along with it, what I didn't understand at the time was how many other people were doing the same thing, how many other people were involved. I only knew it from my perspective, and it felt like I was the only one. I felt like I was the only one that made these horribly stupid decisions. And I internalized that, and it broke me. I mean, it broke my confidence. It took me to, you know, one of the lowest places in my life, as if, you know, a brain tumor can't help you hit rock bottom. that certainly did in a completely different way.
That was the start of what Brandon calls his self-awareness journey.
And that time really helped me get to know not only who I really was, but it helped me define who I wanted to be going forward. And that was probably the most growth I'd ever experienced in my life.
That's when Brandon decided he wanted another shot at real estate.
I'm driving down the 101 south, and I'm talking to my mother on the phone. And I'm speaking to her from a place of very, very low confidence, a broken person, a broken man. And I remember with tears in my eyes just telling her, like, you know, I want to get back into real estate. And if that door opens for me, if that door just opens just a sliver, I'm going to push that thing open and I'm going to walk through and I'm never going to look back.
He got it finding value in failure, and he's been on fire ever since, giving much of the credit to others. And you are very humble when you talk about how many people have helped you along the way. How does that translate into how you work with your team at BTG Real Estate?
Well, I think for the most part, they trust me. And trust is such a key component to building a business, especially in the early stages of business when, you know, you're not a proven entity, you're not a proven business, and you've got to get really good at casting vision and helping other people see where you want to go. Like, it's not enough just to have dreams or goals, but you got to paint the picture of what those dreams and goals mean, not only for the business, but for each individual in the business that's going to be going above and beyond their basic tasks of the day to help you accomplish that. So, you know, that's a really important piece of the puzzle for me.
Brandon is known for his business strategies, which he believes anyone can utilize in any business because it begins with leadership.
It's having interpersonal skills and being able to relate to people and empathize with people, whether they're agents, whether they're very successful business owners, brokers. There's a lot of players in this industry. And one of the key components to driving success, in my opinion, in this industry is getting all of those players to function together, to work in synergy and move in the right direction together. And you know, for lack of a better term, together everyone achieves more. John Maxwell. It's not just a quote or a great thing that you read in a book. It's a true leadership strategy. And I think that maybe that's something that I do well. And I think that the reason I do that well is I'm okay with being vulnerable, and I'm not a very greedy person. I get a lot more satisfaction from being with a team and winning with other people as opposed to standing alone on the top of the mountain. And you know, that I find a lot of joy in it.
Authentic is a word Brandon really believes in. He hosts a podcast called The Authentic Agent and is using the Authentic Agent series platform to train others in the strategies that have worked for BTG Real Estate.
But the authentic part of this, it came from a place of really watching people kind of flounder around and try to discover who they were as a salesperson. And you know, we have The Wolf of Wall Street and Boiler Room and Glengarry Glen Ross and all of these great movies that glorify the you know, the hardcore salesperson. But what I think that we've lost along the way from when that first movie came out in the 80s and as we've gotten into present day is we've lost the idea that people actually want you to succeed. Just don't give them a reason not to want you to succeed. And I think that we've completely misunderstood authenticity and vulnerability as a weakness, when more or less we're in a relationship business. And those two things are really key in building relationships. And when you can be that person to the people that matter most to you in your business, it endears them to you. An authentic person is fun to be around. A humble person is easy to be around. You want them to succeed. So what I wanted people to realize is that there's a lot of ways to succeed in this business, and one of the best ways to do it is by being your best, most humble and authentic self.
Brandon is originally from Montana, a place he says he has a passion for in his soul. He has now expanded BTG Real Estate to Montana, which he says is a full circle moment for him. Congratulations, Brandon. To get plugged into My Home Group's endless resources, go to agentsuccessformula.com. And don't forget to subscribe to MHG TV at mhgtv.com. Thanks for watching MHG TV. I'll see you next time.